Let's get more on this. Greg Simmons is an associate professor at the Institute for Russian and Eurasian Studies at Uppsala University, speaking to us now from Moscow. Many thanks for speaking to us on TRT World, Greg. There have been various tit-for-tat moves since a week ago, since Sunday, when this whole incident kicked off. The latest being the Ukrainian decision to prevent Russian men of combat age from entering Ukraine. How is that going to impact the existing tensions, if you like, between the two countries?
Well, what you have here is not one crisis, but two crises. And one of the crises seems to be a distraction from the other one. While everyone is focused on the current state of affairs, which, as you say, dates back to 2014 with the Crimean issue and Ukraine's sovereignty or lack of it from there, plus what the threats which Ukraine has made to sabotage the bridge from time to time. So you've got this crisis. And everyone's focused on that because it's quite dramatic and fits with the narrative of Russian aggression. The second crisis, which seems to be what this is more about, are the coming elections, in which Poroshenko is not doing well. He's rating very lowly and could lose power. So this is one of those, I think, attempts to rally around the flag, to get people to unite around the Ukrainian president during a time of crisis.
And why are you describing that as a crisis? I mean, what is the significance if Poroshenko does lose in those upcoming elections next year?
Well, he loses power and he's no longer president. And of course, he was brought there in 2014. Ukrainian politics is quite cutthroat, and there is a possibility, for example, for Yulia Tymoshenko to come to power. And this may well lead to a different policy orientation of the country.
How far do you think this is going to play out? Because those elections are still some months away. Is there a possibility of even a return to a full-scale war that we saw back in 2014?
Well, the whole conflict is continually simmering. The problem is that most of this is under the media radar or underreported. But there is something constantly happening on the front line. What this might do is bump it up in the headlines. And, of course, the scale of the conflict may be increased as well, because then it becomes deeply symbolic for both sides not to lose face in this show of one-upmanship.
Of course, the G20 is taking place at the moment, and President Trump was due to meet President Putin, but he cancelled that meeting. How do you think that is going to play into the current crisis?
I mean, well, it's all part and parcel of the current crisis. These things are quite interrelated and interconnected. Of course, Trump is somewhat constrained by politics and this attempt to label him as controlled by Russia and controlled by Putin, and he's trying to demonstrate to his domestic audience that he is not. So it's a lot of different politics at the national level and as well as at the global and international level.
Greg Simmons speaking to us there from Moscow. Many thanks.